Here's what's coming up in episode 215, my weekend with Amy Bruni's Strange Escapes event at Belvoir Winery.
Everyone, Patrick Keller!
Thank you! Oh my gosh, nice to meet you!
Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Merrily, life is but a dream. I hope you all were noticing that light was pulsing with the music. Anybody else notice that?
Welcome to the Big Seance podcast. I'm Patrick Keller of BigSeance.com, and this is a place for an open discussion on all things paranormal, but specifically topics like ghosts and hauntings, paranormal research, spirit communication, psychics and mediums, and life after death. So basically, anything that pops up in my paranormal world. The candles are already lit, so you might as well come on in and join the seance.
Hey, Paranerds. As you'll probably be able to tell, I am all better now. In the last episode, I had COVID, and for the first time, too. And several of you reached out, and many of you sent your love and prayers, and some of you sent healing. And between all of that and some amazing antiviral drugs, I'm just about 100% and officially negative again. I thought my hubby was going to luck out and avoid it, but right as I was feeling pretty good, he tested positive. Although fortunately, he's a pretty healthy dude, and his symptoms have been very mild, and he's already making his way out of it. Let's pour the tea and get to my exciting week at Belvoir Winery. A couple of weeks ago, I had the amazing opportunity to be one of the speakers and, I'm putting up quotes here, paranormal celebrities at one of Amy Bruni's Strange Escapes events at Belvoir Winery in Liberty, Missouri. It's one of Amy's favorite haunted spots, and she has an event there almost every year, I think. We've highlighted Belvoir Winery in a previous Big Seance episode, number 116, and I'll throw that link in the show notes. I've been to Belvoir several times, and I've stayed overnight in the inn a few times, and even before Big Seance was a podcast, I blogged quite a bit about my experiences there. Now, I'd met Amy Bruni and Adam Berry previously, and Chip Coffey too. I've interviewed all three of them for this show. In fact, I've had that moment every now and then where I'm randomly texted by Chip Coffey or Andrea Perrin even, and I'm like, who am I and what world is this? But never have I had the opportunity to spend 4 or 5 days hanging out with Amy, Adam, Chip, plus John Tenney, Aaron Sagers, Greg Lawson, and several other personalities in the paranormal. All of us just hanging out in a cozy, haunted orphanage. On Saturday morning, Aaron Sagers from Paranormal Caught on Camera, and many other things actually, well, he interviewed my friend Jesse Limeculer of Belvoir. And after that, it was my turn to give my talk on being a Paranerd. I was so excited, and the audience was in such a great mood and ready to go, so I jumped in. Well, 5 or 10 minutes later, Amy came in the room with a look of confusion on her face. She was like, I was going to introduce you, but you started already? And I was like, oh, please introduce me. It was funny. Here's that moment from my sister Cassie's phone as she recorded it.
VIPs, your wine tasting starts at 5 o'clock, not 4:30, 5 o'clock, just so you know. Everyone, Patrick Keller!
Thank you! Oh my gosh, nice to meet you. I almost forgot. I was going to do a selfie, too. I don't know if we're all... Okay. I'll text it to all of you.
And here's 2 other brief moments from my talk and some stories that might sound familiar to you. It's not the greatest audio, but it'll give you an idea of how it went.
And that happens in a lot of things having to do with middle school, too. You know, when they tell you lots of things, it's, I blocked my middle school out. Did y'all block your middle school out? So I'm like, I believe you. And that always seems to change things. I remember I had a little girl one year, and I learned a lesson on this, too. She saw auras, like, really strong, to the point where it drove her nuts. But she confided in me one day and told me, and she was telling me how uncomfortable it was for her sometimes to interact with her teachers and friends when she could like see if they're having a bad day or like feel that energy. I was like, And I knew my sister was in the guest bedroom. My husband was sleeping, so I wasn't going to be like, "Hi, can I help you?" And I also wanted to be careful because I've always said, don't, just because spirit manifests itself in like a shadow. People talk about shadow people, which drives me nuts because I'm like, what if it's just great Aunt Martha? And it's the only way that she can, you know, muster a shadow, and you're like, I'm like, rude? You don't know. But I mean, this is the first time that I've felt kind of fear, and it was that cold stuff. But, so what I did is I got this is one of my first iPhones I ever had, so I got my iPhone on my bedside table, and I go to the voice recorder, and I hit record, and I hold it up, and I go, "Is anybody there?" Is there a message you'd like to pass along? Is there a reason why you distract me with your cold pen? And I don't know how long it took me to go to sleep, but I did. I don't know how I went to sleep, but I did go to sleep after sitting there and thinking and processing and processing and processing. And the next morning, I listened to the recording, and I'm like, okay, there is a recording, so that's cool. I know that I was at least awake for that part, but there wasn't anything on it. So I really wish there would have been, but there wasn't anything on it.
As a speaker for one of Amy's events, you're busy because it's a whole weekend gig. And one of the cool responsibilities was leading 200 people in groups for paranormal investigations of the whole property for 8 hours over a period of 2 evenings. And wouldn't you know, I was stationed in the dark, dank, creepy bunker where I had an experience the last time I was at Belvoir. Now, I didn't record audio the first night, but I did record all 4 hours of investigations of the bunker on night 2. What you're about to hear is a mix of clips from 3 or 4 of those groups from that evening. When you hear me refer to the peeps of PRI, they're a group of paranormal investigators that spend a lot of time at Belvoir and run all of the group investigations, and they accompanied all of our groups through the different rotations on the property that weekend, which included the cemetery. They're such great people, and they really help to make these investigations fun and worthwhile. But first, here's an important note about the clips. I did put my researcher ears on as I passed through all 4 hours of this audio, and quite a few of the attendees were investigating for the very first time. And you know how careful I am to classify anything as paranormal. Understand that after I listened to the whole thing, for the purpose of this podcast, the clips I'm about to play have gone through some processing, like amplification to hear conversations, and editing, like removing some of the large gaps in between questions, or when nothing was coming through the spirit box. So keep that in mind if you get excited and think you hear something. It's possible that what you heard is just a product of my editing or processing to make it work for the podcast. I'll jump in from time to time to clarify what's going on. Here we go.
It's beautiful, right? And if we ever got trapped in here, there is water, but we might need tetanus shots after. We all made it in?
We're all in.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the bunker. This is just, we'll talk about what happens in the bunker, but just if you heard my talk yesterday, if you were curious, last spring, this is actually where I had my experience, only like the second time ever that I've been touched, and it was friendly. It was nothing, to be scared of, but I was right here, standing right, and there's a lovely spider. I was actually touched. And just in case you're curious as to where that was, I was actually standing right about here.
Oh, shoot.
And so, you can move or you can stay.
I'll stay on my room.
But, and if you didn't hear my talk, I was standing over there, and there was, and we can try this tonight too, but at one point, we were all raising our hands if we were going to welcome a friendly touch. And so many of us were raising our hands. And I had just said, by the way, I'm also a teacher, so I'm used to goofy kids, and I'm friendly and all that. And I want to guess maybe like 60 seconds later, standing right here, so this shoulder right here, with like a 2-finger pinch, just kind of a gentle pinch in my lower arm. And of course I sat there and thought about it and processed it. I didn't even tell anybody for like 20 minutes. And we've actually had a few experiences in the last 2 nights where people said, yeah, I did. I wasn't sure. I had to process it. I'm not sure what it was. But we have had a few touches in the bunker. So what I think I'd like to do is let's talk about, I guess, what the bunker is, and PRI peeps can correct me if I give any incorrect information. This is about my 4th time investigating here at Belvoir, and so I've heard some of the stories and some of the names they get, but the bunker would have been a place probably to store like food or equipment, and maybe a place where a groundskeeper would have kept some equipment. And it's said that they believe children often came here to the bunker to play or to hide out. And often it was a place to avoid and kind of skip out on chores, because they would have had chores. I guess they lived off the land. They would have had animals, and they had gardens and things like that. But it was also a place where they apparently would skip out on school, skip out on their lessons. And there's a friendly, childlike energy often here, and we felt that the last 2 nights. It's reported that there's sometimes an adult male energy in here, and I don't think anybody would refer to it as like negative, right?
No,
but
right.
like definitely like adult authority figure, right? Maybe someone coming in and catching the kids at play, or like the groundskeeper or something like that. And before you leave tonight, we can tell you where there's a particular corner of this room that the adult male energy tends to kind of be. And we've had a few validating experiences in the last 2 nights where someone has mentioned a particular feeling that they've gotten, and it's been that corner. So, and it's nothing you need to worry about, I don't think, but we'll let you know before you leave. I don't want to tell you before then. We've also, or PRI could tell you too, there's lots of names that are sometimes commonly, coming out through communication. And I can tell you for sure, since I've been here the last 2 nights, through the spirit box, we've gotten a particular name that I can tell you a little bit later. And it's been validated with a flashlight a couple of times tonight. Like, is this your name? Is this you? And then the flashlight would pop on. But we have had some cool experiences tonight involving singing. And so we'll try to completely nerd out. But before we do any of that stuff, if you, I want to just kind of stand in silence, just kind of feel the space out a little bit, listen to what it sounds like. It's kind of a dead silence. I often have ringing ears because of just the quietness. And then we'll get nerdy. So if, maybe turn the flashlights off. If you don't have to have the flashlight on them, let's just kind of feel and test out the atmosphere. So you've been here with me. If you're hiding out in here, you've been here through several groups of friends coming in the last 2 nights, and I've asked you to, if you would please hang out with us if you can, and continue to give everyone a really good experience. We're just curious, we're friendly, we like to ask questions. And you've answered some of the same questions a few times this weekend. So I want to thank you for letting us kind of pester you. But it is really awesome to be able to communicate with you. And it means a lot. So if you can give us another experience now that we have a new group in here, that would be really cool. I keep daring them that I'll do a cartwheel if they do something really cool. But I would very much land in the hospital, so that would be interesting.
It's right next door.
Yeah, true. Very true. So I guess now would be the time if you have, if we have at least 1 or 2 K2 meters or something quiet like that. We've been kind of placing a few here in this lower area.
Just me.
Okay.
Just letting some air in.
Okay.
A little warm.
So if you, we'll get out all of our gadgets tonight, and we'll play all of our games. But sometimes by getting all the noisy gadgets out first, you miss some of the simple things that you can get. Do you want to show us that you're here? You could either make a noise, you could make some lights flash, or you could speak out loud so we could hear it with our ears. Each group has been kind of slow to get going. I guess maybe each group, a new group that comes in, they have to kind of check out, see what kind of nerds we are before they're ready to really jump in. But I think the spirit box, or in some of the groups, we had flashlights that we were able to set up, and that kind of livened things up and got things going a little bit. So they've always been kind of quiet at the beginning. Is the same person here with me tonight that's been here with me, I think, the last 2 nights? Because you've been really entertaining us, whoever that is. I know you know these gadgets. I've been talking to you about them all weekend, and I know you've probably seen them come through all the time. So if you can go up, however it works, I don't know how it works. If you go up to it or make those lights flash, that would give us some confirmation that you're here.
That was me.
Somebody in the last group had the most awesome stomach sound.
You said they'd come in here and hide?
That's what, has been reported. That I don't know if that came from, Jesse has talked about how they've had some orphans, come back as adults and kind of tell them some of the things that they would do. I'm not sure where that story came from, but that's the story.
Maybe they can give us a hint to where they are by either clapping or knocking on something, and we can see if we can find them.
It's a great idea.
Give us a hint as to where you are.
Does anybody have the flashlights that you're able to kind of set? I am horrible at setting those flashlights, so I never try it. Anybody have any of those?
I have cat balls.
Well, we could do that. We also have over here, I don't want to blind you, but right behind you guys, we could put that on the ground. When you bounce it, it will light up. We've got some stuffed monkeys over here. There's some people this weekend that have left candy and donated candy. We've got some books, which are boring, but that's okay. I think they're encyclopedias.
I have one on that side so they can see as well.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
I'm gonna put one ball back there because when
Okay.
I've been here in the past, they kind
Okay.
of like the corners.
Excellent. Let's do that. So we're going to put a cat ball back there. Sorry to blind you.
Is there one back there?
So we moved that one. We have one there.
Is there back there?
Nope.
Thank you for doing that.
I'll just put it back here.
So now that we've gotten some toys out, and I know you're used to toys down here, we can ask you some questions, and maybe that'll help you give us some answers. And now I want to kind of shut up and let you guys, if you're brave, if you think of a good question to ask them, go ahead.
Did you like to make art when you were a kid? What's your favorite kind of candy?
I know you can do it. We're friendly, I promise.
If the gentleman is in here, we've got those toys in every corner. Can you show us which corner you're in?
What's wrong with the kids being in here playing every now and then? Is that okay? I'm sure they could get into some trouble in here too.
Can you roll one of the balls to one of us? We'll roll it back.
The last group and a few times last night, whenever I mentioned singing, that sometimes got a rise out of them. We got some activity to see. It was kind of a...
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
In one of the groups, it was about this time where he let us know that, as you'll hear him say, he was getting vibed out. And it was about the time we were talking about some of the activity that had happened over the last 2 days while we were singing. I never heard from this gentleman after he left, so I'm not sure if it was activity that was going on around him or just, as he said, some of the vibes he was feeling. But all respect to him for knowing it was time for him to peace out. And as I said, we'll still like you.
To see. It was kind of a...
Sorry to interrupt.
That's okay.
I need to go.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Sorry, getting vibed out.
We'll still like you.
That's all right.
I promise.
Thank you.
Anybody sensing anything over here where he was? Everything seemed okay over there?
I think so.
Okay. I'll be curious to hear what that was. So, I don't know, here in a few minutes we could try singing if we want to do that, because that seems to have worked this weekend. Are you the same person I've been talking to the last 2 nights? I know there's probably a few of you here, at least. Do you ever get annoyed or tired of people coming in asking to talk with you? I know it's a popular place. Do you like the attention?
How old are you?
Do you know some of the people in the room? There's some people in this room who are here frequently. Do you know who they are? And we again just want to ask that it's okay that we just hang out with you and we're curious and we'd love to know if you're here with us now and what your name is. We've got a device, at least one device. We might have some more devices I don't see, but we've got a device right over here on this stack of wood over here with a light on it. And I know you know what those things look like. You see nerds in here all the time with devices. And so you could totally go up to those devices. You could try to make more lights flash.
Sorry.
Speaking of Patrick, do you want me to set up any of the flashlights?
Oh, say what? How what?
Do you want me to set up any of the
Oh my gosh, that was you. Please do. That was awesome. We had some really good luck last night in one of the groups setting up the flashlights, which I struggled to set up very well, but they had some and it was pretty exciting.
Oh, that one just turned off.
Nice. Was that you? That's the first one that popped on last night right over there. And so if you turned that on, if you can go ahead, I was going to ask you to turn it off. Thank you.
There is a temperature change here. To
Okay.
the left, immediate left, yes. And it's a cold spot. It is lower to the ground.
About where the flashlight is?
About this high.
Okay. Could you now do it again or maybe try one of the other flashlights? We thank you for helping us out, for playing with us.
Yeah, you did a great job. Thank you so much. We appreciate you letting us be in your space. We know this is sometimes a little strange. Nobody's here to push you out. Nobody's here to hurt you. Nobody's here to scream at you. We're just here to learn about you. We all have questions and we all just want to help you if we can.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was almost like a little confirmation.
Good job.
Yeah.
Very well.
All right. You want to go ahead and turn it off for us? That helps us also know that you're listening.
You're doing so good.
Can we try another flashlight?
You can do it. You're doing fantastic.
I would love it if you turned on another flashlight. I think we have 4, right? 3. So there's 3 flashlights. Kind of a scavenger hunt, maybe, to find them.
Another light come on. You guys can sense where I am. There should be one behind me. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
So train off in the distance. Thank you. So you liked that flashlight, didn't we, last night? Didn't we say that was the yes flashlight?
We had one up here that we
Yeah.
used for maybe, and then the one on the stool, the kid's stool back there was no.
So if we say that's the yes flashlight, so that we could ask some questions, do you want to show us that you at least can turn the other flashlight on? We'll be able to have a conversation. Or one of the other flashlights. And that can be a no. We can have a conversation with friends. And I can't imagine how you would turn that on, but I know you know how to.
Yes.
Anybody else in the group have questions? Feel free to go ahead. Hopefully we'll get another flashlight on, but I don't want to hog all the questions. Thank you for turning the light on.
You're doing so good. How many of you are down here? How many children are down here? Are there 5 children? Six children?
We have some scooching in the dirt down over this way.
Here in this corner.
Yes.
Is that you making some noise over here?
Okay, there was another time.
Yeah, we weren't getting a lot of noises last night. It was pretty much all spirit box and lights, but
No, because she mentioned it as well, and I heard it. It's almost like, I know most people don't know this, if you took a pig, because pigs love these little pools. I know I used to have one. It's almost like they're in there and they like to move them, and it makes almost like a sandpapery type noise.
was that you? Maybe light up that flashlight, your favorite flashlight, if that was you making noise. Anybody else have questions? Oh, thank you. Maybe that means I need to be more patient and let you do your thing. All right, can you turn that off for us? It's kind of a reset to kind of start all over.
You're doing such a good job.
Just a little bit more.
Are you getting tired? You can switch up with somebody else.
I'm like, I'm over it. I'm going to leave it on. Oh, okay. Thank you.
They're looking for me. That was a yes.
Yes.
They're over it. They're leaving it on.
There we go. Yep. It'll be fun to listen back to see if you had any names or anything. We also sang last night in almost every group.
Oh, please tell me it wasn't Kumbaya.
It was not. The typical song, I think, is usually Ring Around the Rosie down here, but we had one group where somebody recommended Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and the K2 meter started going crazy, like, yes, 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 give us Row, Row, Row Your Boat. So, and I'm a choir teacher, so that was fun. We had to do Row, Row, Row Your Boat, and we did it in a round.
Oh, that's awesome.
And of course it was in like 12 keys, but it was like it was rehearsed.
Oh, it's like it's so hard.
Yeah. It was perfect. You like that? Do you want Row, Row, Row Your Boat? It's probably a little more exciting than Ring Around the Rosie when you have it in a round. Are y'all good with that?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so let's do, what we did last night is we, before we do it in a round, let's sing it all together. And just, you might need a little review of Row, Row, Row Your Boat.
Okay, you're a choir teacher, so
Yes,
you cannot judge us.
Oh, there's no judging. There's no judging.
You just can't judge.
I'll still like you. And then we'll try it
thank
again, and we'll leave the last part off. Merrily, 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 merrily. And then leave the last part off, and it'll be fun to go listen to your audio later and see if you heard a solo at the end. But let's sing the whole thing once for practice, all of us together. You cool? All right, here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Thanks. Thank you. Did you sing with us? We'll get more exciting. We'll do a round in just a second. So let's try it again, all doing it together, and then stop for Life is But a Dream. So okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to let you have the solo, and we'll stop at Life is But a Dream, and so we'll have silence there and make sure it's real quiet. All right, here we go. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. Life is I'm telling you, it might have been a long time since some of you were in school singing that. Let's try it one more time, and then we'll do it in a round. Here we go. Ready, and row, row, row your boat
Gently down the stream, merrily, 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 merrily.
Did you try it? Did you finish it? Did you sing with us? I bet it was beautiful. All right, y'all ready to try it with a round? So if you need a review, here's what we'll do. We'll have anybody on this side of the bunker, on the opposite side of me, we'll have you be in group 2. So we'll start over here, and group 2 comes in after row, row, row your boat, and then row, row, row your boat, right? Oh, I'm so excited. And we'll do it like twice. We'll just like repeat it twice. All right, here we go. Group 1, we're going to start it over here, this side, and row, 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 and row round the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Merrily, life is but a dream. I hope you all were noticing that light was pulsing with the music. Anybody else notice that? It was?
Yeah,
the meter was too.
There was some shadow play in that back corner behind you too, doll.
Yeah, this is where we heard it.
That's where the pig is, apparently.
That's where the pig's at. And I know that they're kind of by me because I can feel it.
Yeah.
They're kind of coming out and peeking out.
Okay, it's me jumping in. I'm serious, y'all. This is probably the moment that stands out in the whole 2 nights of investigating, was when this flashlight, it was the Yes flashlight, and that we had been using for that whole group. And it was seriously pulsing with the beat of the song as we sang the round. So cool.
We're glad that you feel comfortable with us and are, playing with us tonight.
And I thank you as well.
Yeah, thank you. Very cool. All right, so over here we'll start. Here we go. Ready? And row, row, row your boat. Row, row, row your boat.
Merrily, 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 row, row, row your boat. Gently down the stream, your boat. Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Gently down the stream, your boat. Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
That's okay. That was nice. Good job.
Are we hired?
Well, at that time, I gave you all a weird note, and that was my bad. I should have my hand smacked for that as a music teacher.
Music teacher? God.
I know.
I'm an art teacher, so I know that.
I know. We would totally get along.
I'm the history teacher. I'm the one they're hiding from.
I'd be hiding from you too.
History's okay. It's math that I'd be hiding from.
I'd be rocking in the corner with the math. Can you, we'll do some other stuff here in a bit. The spirit box. I know you've been working through the spirit box, but we would really love to see some kind of light activity, some kind of flashes, see you play with one of our gadgets or toys, or you can move them. It might be that they decided in our group that they're going to follow the rules and go to class. Or, yeah, you never know. Oh, that could be it. I've already told them that I'm one of those cool teachers that won't turn them in.
Same here.
Yeah. I will say usually if the adult figure is here, the children are not.
Right, that's how the story goes. So that could be it.
He shuffled them off the bed.
Yeah.
I don't suppose it's the corner behind me over here that the adult figure is seen, is it?
I will validate that yes, it is.
Okay, yeah, because that's
Do you
what
feel
I've been
him?
feeling.
And so,
It feels like there's someone standing in the corner. It feels like I feel uncomfortable.
Shadow Man, if you're here, can you please have the kids come out and play?
we think it's okay. I think it's okay if they come play.
Yeah, we're watching them, Shadow Man. It's okay.
That's some more validation right there. We've had.
I felt it since I walked in here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Presence behind me.
And it's been pretty quiet, right? And that's.
So they say if Shadow Man is present, again, sometimes he does not allow the kids to come play. So sometimes we have to talk him into it a little bit.
As people that come here often, we did feel him as soon as we walked through the door. So
Mhm.
we're going to see if anybody picked up on that.
Wait, say that again.
We come here often.
Right.
Because we're PRI, so we felt him when we walked through the door.
Oh, okay.
So we were
That's
waiting
interesting.
to see if somebody would else
Yeah, I felt
that
him the
didn't
entire
know
time.
him would feel him.
You all are the third group, and tonight you all are the first group that has felt anything in
To
that
me, he's really
corner.
strong tonight.
Yeah.
Even-
Last night a couple of groups felt it, but this is the first group tonight to feel it.
Yeah, I felt it as I was standing here.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure if I was going crazy.
Yeah.
So it's me jumping in again. So over the 2 days of doing group investigations in the bunker, the first night, the whole first 4 hours, it was pretty eventful. It was, we were getting lots of activity while we were singing, lots of flashlight activity. And that continued on the second night until I got to about the third group. I think I had 5 groups. The third group and the fourth group, it was like dead. It was like no activity until we started getting people talking about this energy, this, what they sometimes call the shadow man, which I don't like, but, the male authority figure energy. And so it does make you wonder, does the childlike energy shut down when that authority figure comes back? So it was about the last group on the second night when finally things kind of started picking up again. And I think that had a lot to do with the energy of the people in that group. They were really excited to be there. They were talkative, and we had a lot of fun.
That's what resonates with them down here.
Thank you for turning that off.
Thank you. All right, you all want to try the round?
Yeah.
Now this is the smallest group, so no pressure. Okay. So let's kind of divide it here. So we've got a group over here, we've got a group over here, and we'll start it over here, and then you all can jump in. And so just to review, it will be row, row, row your boat, and that's when the second group comes in on row, row, row your boat. And there's been a few times where this round thing is what got them super excited. So I think they're impressed that we're doing it without rehearsal.
Yeah.
Y'all ready? Okay, so group one with me over here. Ready? And row, row, row your boat.
Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Let's do it one more time. Row, row, row. Try it again. Row.
Gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream.
Life is but a dream.
What do you think? Is that, did the light turn on and give us applause? Is that what that meant?
They're telling us encore.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody have any? I don't want to hog all the question time. Before we try to do some spirit box, anybody have any questions you want to direct toward them?
It's not a question, but a couple songs ago, I got this really staticky feeling in my arm. I don't know if you want to try the "Do you want to touch me?" thing.
Oh, have we not done that yet?
No.
I'm sorry, I'm getting all the groups mixed up. It happens to me in class too. When by the end of the day, I'm like, did I say this 4 times already? I don't remember. So if you are welcoming a friendly touch, you can go ahead and hold your hand up, and we'll keep our hands up for like a minute and give them a chance to kind of figure out what they're comfortable doing. Let us know. Some of us are brave, and even if it spooks us, I think that's why some of us are here. So it's okay. Are you over us?
They flickered.
Mm-hmm. If you're a middle school student, that's the age I'm familiar with, and I can totally see you just being like, we're done. Totally done.
Did the bell ring yet? Can I leave?
Yeah, for real. Maybe they'd rather be in class.
Right.
Maybe we're boring them.
Wheels on the bus. Maybe you like that one.
Ooh, I haven't done that yet this weekend.
Wheels on the bus.
Although you know what, that could last 11-7 minutes.
You're right, though. You're right.
I messed up my joke with the number. Okay, well, do you want to lead it over here then, dude?
Sure.
Lead us in. Let's not like do 87, verses of it, but let's do a couple.
Sure. Okay. The wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round, all through the town.
Do you know that? Do you know that song? Is that a song you would have sung?
I wonder how old that song is.
I don't know.
I wonder if it used to be the carriage wheels go round and round.
And well, even after the orphanage, I'm pretty. Liberty School District used the orphanage building for
For a while, yeah.
For a while, yeah. All right, thank you. You're still chatting with us then.
We'll return to the bunker and lots of fun with the spirit box right after this.
You're listening to the Big Seance podcast with Patrick Keller. Be sure to check out BigSeance.com for more discussion.
This episode of the Big Seance podcast is brought to you by Jim Harold's Campfire. And if you like stories of the strange, the weird, and the unexplained, well, then you need to check it out. If you're a long-time listener, you likely know that Jim Harold was one of the inspirations for the Big Seance. The very first podcast I ever subscribed to, it was produced by Jim Harold. He's been podcasting since the early days of podcasting. In fact, I think he's the OG paranormal podcaster, and he's approaching the lucky 13th anniversary of his Campfire show. If you haven't listened yet, the concept is pretty simple. Jim just talks to regular peeps about the strange stuff that happens to them for 90 minutes every week. Ghosts, UFOs, cryptids, and head scratchers. He doesn't exaggerate or play a lot of spooky music. The stories just speak for themselves. One's like a ghost story involving serial killer Ted Bundy. A woman gets caught in what may have been an interdimensional portal that she narrowly escaped. Or the young man who encountered an 8-legged demon. Then there was the story of alien abduction by what may have been a reptilian. Now, not all the stories are horrifying. Some are heartwarming, like a visit from a past loved one, or even a peaceful near-death experience. Den of Geek said, Jim Harold's Campfire is perhaps the best tool we have currently in existence to hear real-life scary stories from other human beings since the actual campfire was invented. Well, regardless of the story, they are true and fascinating, as told by ordinary people who've had extraordinary experiences. Jim supports us, so let's all tune in to Jim Harold's Campfire on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to the Big Seance.
Thanks for joining us for the Big Seance podcast. We'd better get back to the table while there's still some candlelight left.
Well, what we can do, I think, is we can go ahead and do some spirit box. How many of you have experimented with the spirit box or ghost box? And it's pretty fun. I hate when I get a lot of one-syllable stuff, because one-syllable stuff can be anything, right? Almost. And sometimes you'll get one-syllable stuff where it's a little more clear, and maybe you're like, okay, that's cool. But if you've ever heard like your name repeated back to you through the spirit box, you get, goosebumps, and that's always a little more validating for you and makes you kind of think about it a little bit more. But I'll get it started. And we'll let it go for a little bit, and then you all can feel free to ask some questions. Maybe see if we can figure out when we can get a name of who we've got.
Hearing stuff already. Yeah, you'll hear little bits of, we were hearing whistling last night as well. Are you here with us? Does this make it easier for you to communicate? Thank you. I'm curious to now know who you are, what your name is. What's your name? So I won't say the names that are, I guess, often heard down here. But last night, at least 3 times, we got Smith. Ah, is that you, Smith? And was Smith your last name? Nice. I'm glad to be hanging out with you for a couple days. Do we have anybody else here with Smith? Do you have any friends here hiding out with you?
I could have sworn I heard a Frank earlier.
Say it again.
I could have sworn I heard a Frank come out of there.
Frank?
I could have sworn I heard a Frank, but she heard it. David Max.
I heard both things.
You heard what?
I heard both things. Frank and
PRI peeps, do you guys use the spirit box a lot?
Occasionally.
Do you know what speed you all like to do? I got it at 150. I don't know if there's a favorite.
150 to 2, yeah. 150 is usually better in here.
Yeah. Why do you come and hang out why do you come visit the bunker? Why do you use this space? What's it for? What games did you play down here? I know people roller skated inside the orphanage. Oh.
Thank you for turning that on. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
My pleasure. You're my pleasure.
She said thank you. Oh yeah, he's back here.
Thanks for giving us another flashlight. And 2 at the same time. I was going to ask if you ever roller skated in here, since you sometimes would roller skate in the orphanage.
No.
No?
Did you guys have to play hide and go seek down here too with all the food?
Yeah, yep. Are you sure it wasn't creepy? Maybe not as much back then. What else do you want to tell us? We don't have anybody that's very chatty here tonight. Anything you want to tell us? Anything funny?
What's your name? Can you repeat that? It didn't come out that clear. Fred? It said Fred. Yeah, the light's going on over there.
Thank you, Fred. Very polite. Saying my pleasure. It's very nice.
What else did you guys like to do down here? Help.
Yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Help us help you. What do you need help with?
What do you need?
Almost sounded like Rich.
It sounds like Butch.
Or Butch.
Oh, Rich, okay.
I heard Rich too.
And in some cases, when you're listening to these things live, you hear one thing, and then you listen back in the audio, and it's more clear. Or you'll hear additional things that we didn't pick up on. You're still with us, huh? I got a funny response last night in one of the groups when I asked about the food in the orphanage, and I didn't even get the whole question out, and I got a big response. Did you like the food? Maybe if you could turn this other light on back here that you turned on earlier, if you liked the food. Because last night we were told immediately no thanks on the food.
That sounded like a cough, like a little giggle, like that.
A cough?
Yeah, like yeah.
Not so much, huh? Did you get desserts here? Or ice cream? Did you have special meals on holidays?
Yes.
And I bet those meals were nicer. Thank you. So let's have you turn the light off, and we'll give somebody else a chance to ask a question, and we'll see if we can get an answer. Anybody else have a question once we get this light turned off? Turn the light off for us, please. Almost like you're singing again. Thank you. All right, anybody else have a great question you can think of? I would love it if you could say my name. You did it last night if you were here. My name is Patrick. Can you say Patrick, please? I heard Pat for sure. Can you try again? Try Patrick.
I heard it.
Man, last night was a really good one. Anybody else want to brave enough to say your name and ask them to say your name?
My name's Maggie. Can you say Maggie back to me?
Please say Maggie. Heard maybe I could. Now, tonight we've been getting a lot of one-syllable responses, which sometimes get on my nerves because they can be interpreted as many things. But there have been a few that have been multiple syllables. I've heard.
Was that something?
Ooh. What was that? Somebody touching it, or was it?
I touched the ball, but I did not make a bang.
Oh, there was a bang.
It was a bang, like right in the wall over here.
Are you making a noise for us?
It's okay.
Is the adult male still here? I really, really, really wish you would, just this once,
Let them come out and play. Maybe we're all rebels. I'm a teacher, though. I think it's okay. Come on. Can you tell us your name? Is it a no? I did, maybe, or Eddie, or something.
I heard I did.
I heard back up, which is what actually last night we had a softer spirit box, and I had to keep coming forward to listen to it, and twice I heard a back up, and I was like, all right.
In this funny clip, this is one of the groups where the batteries in my spirit box started to die. And so I found one of the other investigators who had a spirit box with them, but they didn't really know how to use it. And it was completely different from mine. So we were trying to figure out how to turn the spirit box on. And, you know, this was a funny moment.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Now this time we've got FM. I was using AM earlier, so you might hear some music type stuff.
Oh, I can do
On it.
I could almost name that song. I wonder what the M is.
My brother were sent to live with our teachers that worked at school.
Okay, nice.
We were up for adoption. It was amazing news. Yeah, you can make those things.
You are the best ever.
Wow.
That was really clear.
Okay, I'm gonna give up because I don't want to waste our time just goofing. I know, I heard the
That is about adoption. Yeah, that was kind of ironic.
Oh well, I'm sorry that my spirit box failed us. Are you still here with me tonight? I thought I heard my name, and I've asked you to say my name a couple times tonight. Was that you saying my name? Can you say it again?
There you go.
Totally.
Thank you. Can you tell us your name? Are you the same person we've been talking to all evening? What's your name? Did you all hear something?
I thought I heard Brian, but I don't know if that's
Okay.
right or not.
There might be more than one of you here. What are your names? That was something. I don't know what it was.
your name again.
Really? I'm a popular dude.
They know you better than they know us.
What's your name?
Aubrey.
Aubrey?
Can we ask how many children are in here?
We can. Can you first tell me, can you say the name Aubrey? Can you please say Aubrey? I heard the aw for sure.
So did I.
Try really hard. That'll be super impressive. Say Aubrey, please. Oh, did you hear it?
Yeah.
How many of you are here with us tonight? And we've got our light on.
Is there anyone here named Aubrey? Do you like my name? Did I say I do? That could be me. It's okay.
And sometimes when you listen back in the audio, now has anybody felt in any areas felt any like weird energy or felt uncomfortable?
I felt like something touched my knee here, but I don't know if something like I don't know. It might have just been. Is it kind of like tingling? No.
It could, we've had people have said that tonight. People have said that they felt
like,
kind of
like swept. I felt like I felt something sweep against my knee here.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I have stuff in my pocket, but that's awfully high for it to be.
And see, that's what I do. I think that's good when you start thinking, about the different possibilities.
Like I thought it was something hanging off of this. Like I thought maybe it was here, but
I mean, I jerked a second ago, but that would be too low for me to.
Yeah.
It
was like right here on my leg, right here.
There have been some people feeling some things over here tonight. Like I said, the
Flashlight confirms.
Okay, there two people earlier who weren't in the same party next to each other said that they kind of felt numb on one side, and then the other person over here felt the side be numb, and I thought that was interesting because they were right next to each other.
I've noticed a lot of times for me, if I have my hand down, I'll feel something against my leg or my knee, like someone, like little kids trying to grab my hand.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or like a gentle brush.
Yeah, they're just curious. So.
Yeah. I just recently had that experience at Waverly, just like a little kind of
What
brush
it
on
felt
my
like
finger.
to me was if there was a cord or something hanging from her flashlight. That's what I thought, that it swept across my
And
leg.
you all get that kind of spiderwebby kind of feel here a lot too, right?
Very much so. That's one of our tip-offs when stuff's about to
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
A few people tonight actually said that they felt, maybe it was last night. Okay, losing my mind. But a few people have felt, in the same group, actually felt like a pressure all of a sudden up against their back. Kind of like Chip was talking about, in his talk yesterday. But the corner that is kind of notorious for that adult male energy is over here. And I thought it was interesting. This is the first group tonight that everybody kind of walked away from that corner.
I started out over there and then I came over.
Yeah, somebody earlier tonight too said, okay, I was feeling like somebody was kind of looking over my shoulder or watching me. So I'm just curious if anybody's, we've had the cold temperature changes over here. Has anybody had any experience this whole, anything you'd want to announce? How much time?
On my right side.
Just under 5 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Just my arm.
Behind me,
Yeah.
basically the entire time I kept looking over my shoulder.
Well, and that's what I was just getting ready to announce what corner tends to have the adult energy.
I turned to look in the corner and someone poked my shoulder.
Oh, okay.
15 minutes ago.
Okay, and did you have to process it? Or was it
Yeah,
like
I was just like, did that actually happen?
Yeah.
Should I say?
Yeah, so it's this corner that tends to be that corner with the adult energy, and my sister who was here with me last night hanging out, this is her first time here, and she came up to me after the first group and she was like, I was hanging out in that one corner, and she was like, no thanks, not hanging out in that corner anymore. And I was like, okay, there you go, that's and we had it a couple other times.
Well,
last
I got
night.
cold and something tugged on my shirt.
Okay. We had, last night, there were a few people touched on the back lightly. Someone last night had a very similar kind of pinch on the arm that I was talking about earlier. Was that you? Pinching and touching? We love it. It's okay. Well, we sure thank you. I'll be down here the rest of the night. I hope you stay with us and help us all have a good experience. But I want to thank you for giving these nice folks a good experience. And you're awesome. Thank you. And you guys are going to have so much fun tonight. Thank you for all the flashlight communication. And they're going to the cemetery next, right?
Cemetery, yeah. Oh, I do that.
Y'all are getting your cemetery on.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It was nice to hang out with you nerds.
Nice, thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you,
I
Patrick.
hope you have
Thank
a great
you,
experience
kids.
the rest of the evening.
Okay, we have no idea where the cemetery is.
They're going to lead you.
The PRI team. Oh, these guys?
Yep.
Okay.
Our PRI nerds.
All right. Cool. We'll follow you
And
guys.
you're probably going to look for the fire. There's going to be a fire up there.
Okay. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for playing along tonight.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Yeah, I hope you get spooked. Come up in here. Well, this has been super fun, and you guys have one more location, right? You going to the cemetery?
Yes, we are.
Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out with me. Before you all go...
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. You're welcome. Be careful on the way out. Like I said, there's that glass in the...
If you have water bottles, make sure you grab them. We don't want to leave any trash behind, okay?
Thanks for nerding out with me.
Woo nerds!
Woohoo!
Especially the visual and the musical art.
Yes, the creative people outside the box.
I'm sorry we couldn't sing better.
It was beautiful.
Well, I hope you enjoyed a little taste of another trip to Belvoir Winery. I met a lot of new Paranerds there, and I know we've gained some new listeners. So thanks for joining us. And again, I want to thank Amy Bruni and Jesse Limekuhler for the awesome opportunity. We'll see where my paranormal world takes us next. Thank you to the following super paranerds who support the show at patreon.com/Big Seance. Michael Henson, Daryl, Anne-Marie Sullivan, Natalie N., Kim Robb, Josiel Lorenzo, and Susan Davey. My supporters at the Parlor guest level, who can be found at bigseance.com/Parlor guests, are Allie of Hocus Pocus Collector, Miranda from SpookyLittleHalloween.com, Chelsea from Cheers with Chelsea, Linda from ShimmeringMoons.com, Ann Rekovich from OzParatech.com, Janae Michaels from Grey House Tarot and Farm Artifacts, Mitchell Coombs from MitchellCoombs.com, Dina DeCastro of Dina DeCastro Astrology, Lana and John of Carbon Lilies, Amy Park Gedicke of AmyParkG.com, Danielle Hembury, Alicia Ferguson, Morgan O'Hearn, Sarita Cockerham, Christine Rath Selhe, Mindy Kentop, Hope Battaglia, Cass and Bailey, Melissa Armour, Diane Rax, Bruce Williams, Christopher Kohler, Jim Budd, David Rubenstein, and Norman and Linda Keller. That sound you just heard was the above and beyond. There's not even a category for your level of support fireworks display, because I have 5 awesome listeners who support the show at the $10 level. Peggy Hagan, Glenna Becker, Steve Skinner, Kevin Gilbert, and James Wilfong. So thank you, Peggy, Glenna, Steve, Kevin, and James, and thank you, Paranerds. For show notes, including links to anything we may have mentioned in this episode, visit bigseance.com. And you can continue the discussion and hang out with a great community of Paranerds by joining us in the Big Seance Parlor on Facebook. Want to hear your voice in a future episode? Go to bigseance.com/feedback to learn how. Thank you so much for listening. Unfortunately, it's time to blow the candles out, but we'll see you and light them again next time.